in my endless quest to be more comfortable. Also, my streaming software isn't working right now, so I don't have my calendar that I never change the date on at the right time anyway, so I don't know if it helps you. Anyway, today's Monday. It's Monday night. Today was probably a little different. A lot of stuff happened. Sunday night was probably enjoyable. The moon was applying to Jupiter, and then the moon conjoined Jupiter, trined Neptune, trined Saturn, not in that order, and sextiled Uranus first thing in the morning, and then moved right into Leo. So you probably maybe experienced a little something different this morning. Just going to go ahead and talk about the past. The moon in Leo opposed Pluto and Aquarius today. I feel like I maybe skipped that or something. Maybe you skipped it too. But there's something around if you did have to be seen by the collective, there's something around that. Maybe the vulnerability of being singled out or something. And for most of the day today, from around noon Pacific time through around 6 p.m., the moon was trining Mars. So maybe you had the energy. Mine was all over the place. And the moon squared Venus. So whatever you're doing in the Leo part of your life, there might have been some like sinful pleasures on offer, and you had to choose between the sinful pleasures and whatever the Leo part of your life is. And the moon trined Mercury. It's trining Mercury, I think, right now. I have no idea what time it is. So tonight, right now, whatever's going on for you, that's the moon in Leo trining Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. So just like tongue out emoji. It sounds fun. It sounds not quite accurate, but fun. Jupiter is also stationing. Jupiter stations tomorrow, Tuesday, first thing in the morning. So when outer planets beyond the Kuiper Belt station retrograde or direct, it's more like a tide. It's not like the rebellious behavior of a planet like Mars, Venus, or Mercury stationing retrograde or direct. This just marks the beginning and end of different phases of a planet's relationship with the sun and relationship with its own energy. This is the part in, so now until March, I think it's March 10th, Jupiter is going to be retrograde. And this is a time, so it's Jupiter in Cancer, exalted Jupiter, you're getting the best of the best. This is the time, though, where we have to make good on the opportunities that we've been given since June 24th, since the beginning of June 9th. Jupiter in Cancer has offered a lot of support, a lot of, if Jupiter is things coming together in a way that makes sense. That's how we get the more abstract, great things in life, like luck being a version of a kind of spiritual alignment, opportunities, success. These are all like things coming together, like it's all coming together. So now until March 10th, 2026, Jupiter is going to be retrograde. We have to think about the leg up you may have been given in the Jupiter-ruled areas of your life and in the sign, whatever house the sign of Cancer coincides with in your chart, and do your best to make the best of a very good situation. And what I think of for this is, so it's the sign of Cancer, but a lot of Cancer people to me are also very astute business people. It's the opposite of Capricorn, but it contains a seed of its opposite. And I feel like one way to approach making the best of Jupiter in Cancer, the good stuff that started rolling in starting June 9th, June 24th, that time marked like the beginning of this cycle. I think of it as like you have a P&L sheet that you're responsible for. The sign of Cancer is maybe like ensuring the food is delicious and everybody's safe. But here you have an excess, a surplus, and we need to figure out how to invest it. Tomorrow is kind of boring. thank goodness. Like, you get, tomorrow's like the teacher prep day. All that's happening is the moon is squaring the sun. We're headed into the moon's fourth quarter, right? Yeah. So tomorrow, end of day, 9:28 p.m. Pacific time specifically, will be in the, we enter into the winding down phase, the like finishing things phase. So anything that you're trying to build or start, tomorrow's the last few hours of the lunar energy being technically considered conducive to growth. After 9:28 p.m., it will be more of the moon's energy or a lack of energy. It's more like pouring it all out. It's more conducive to like finishing things, stopping things. You have a bad habit you want to stop. The moon's fourth quarter is a great time to try that. I take it back that tomorrow, Tuesday, is boring because we do have in the middle of the day on Wednesday, the second of 3 Mars-Mercury conjunctions. And this is Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, conjoining Mars in Sagittarius. It sounds like a lot. The last Mars-Mercury conjunction in Sagittarius that happened whilst Mercury was retrograde, I slammed my hand into a car door in an international airport. And it was chaotic. It was a lot. That's the vibe. For perspective, the first Mars-Mercury conjunction was on October 18th, and that was Mercury and Mars conjoining in Scorpio. And the third one, after Mercury stations direct, Mercury will catch up with Mars again, and this will happen on January 17th, 2026, in the sign of Capricorn. So that's exalted Mars with Mercury. I love Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury doesn't have any specific dignity in Scorpio, where the first conjunction is, or Capricorn, where the third conjunction is. But Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius, in the one that happens basically today. Like, I'm sure you'll see stuff coming up around it Tuesday, November 11th, even though it goes exact on Wednesday. The moon activated this aspect today, right now, as I'm recording this. So I wonder what that means for me and you. Mars is considered the lesser malefic, but Mars doesn't always have to mean bad. It can just mean very energetic. So what's going on? What kind of stuff tonight? If you're watching this later, think back to Monday. Excuse me. Okay, I said Tuesday was boring, but it might not be boring because Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is applying to a conjunction with Mars in Sagittarius. It goes exact on Wednesday, November 12th, as the moon is applying to a square with Uranus. The moon Uranus square goes exact. This is the moon in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. That old chestnut. So the Mercury Mars conjunction happens at 3:15 p.m. Pacific time, and the moon Uranus conjunction. What if I put my notes by the camera and then I can look at... Okay, so Wednesday feels like a Ned Ryerson doozy, except not wet, more dry and stimulating. And all the action happens on Wednesday around 3:30, 4 p.m. Mercury conjoins Mars, the moon squares Uranus, and then the moon moves into Virgo. So Tuesday and Wednesday are that like hot, stimulating, maybe a bit much, all over the place, or just like very energetic. There's much that needs doing, and then pick a handful of things instead of thinking you can do all 40 things that need doing. And then around 4 p.m. on Wednesday, the moon moves into Virgo and is now squaring Mars and squaring Mercury retrograde. It's always tempting to, after something like the moon squaring Uranus while Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius conjoins Mars in Sagittarius, it's tempting to think that the moon moving into Virgo will make things calm down, but it might make things worse because the moon is squaring Mercury and Mars. So it's almost like your attempt to make things more reasonable and calm things down makes it worse. It's like trying to cut something off at the pass. Instead, you cause some sort of collision that makes whatever it was worse than if you hadn't tried to fix it. So for Mercury retrograde, I always say, what if you don't try to fix it? Thursday night, though, so that's Thursday. Wednesday afternoon, the moon moves into Virgo. Those aspects, the moon squaring Mercury and the moon squaring Mars, go exact in the wee hours / super early in the morning on Thursday. And then you have a nice morning of the moon sextiling Venus. That also happens early in the morning on Thursday. I hope I didn't say that wrong a minute ago. Sometimes I say the wrong words. It's a very bad quality for giving you the astrology news. Most of Thursday feels mostly optimistic. It's just there are no other exact aspects the rest of Thursday, and it's just the moon applying to a sextile with the sun, no big whoop, and a sextile with Jupiter, which is a small whoop. And then in opposition with Saturn, which I'm tempted to say it's not no big whoop, it's just no. But I do the moon in Virgo opposing Saturn in Pisces, and you've heard it a million times from me if you've been watching the past few years. I like the moon in Virgo opposing Saturn in Pisces. It all depends on what you have going on in your chart, but I feel like the moon in Virgo and Saturn in Pisces are trying to do similar things. They're both sort of strangers in a strange land at these opposite ends of the zodiac. The moon activates things, it makes things real, brings things to life in the form of ensouled. Saturn makes things real, concretizes things, like condenses things down into material realness. And if we think of matter as darkness, the moon is ensouled matter, so matter infused with light, like your human body. But we could also talk about Saturn in terms of like physical incarnation. And then the moon's domicile is Cancer. The moon prefers things are, on the moist side of things. Everybody hates that word. And then it's in Virgo, so it's a little like hoarse, like a little dry and hoarse, or like a little cut and dry. And Saturn in Pisces is like the cell, the gap junction. There's a wall there, but we can pass nutrients through the wall. So is there even a wall there? I don't know. The wall is just, it's a figurehead wall. It has to be there because the rule is there has to be a wall there. But it's permeable. Saturn is in this kind of like squishy, wet place. This like transparent, permeable place when Saturn prefers things be cut and dry. So when the moon, stranger in the strange land of Virgo, opposes Saturn, wanting to do complementary things, I think they can help each other out. Friday night feels strange. After the moon opposes Saturn, so you've had maybe a heavy, just serious afternoon and you're glad to kick back and relax. Just watch maybe like overconsumption of intoxicants. The moon in Virgo is opposing now Neptune and Pisces again, so it's just like stuff we're familiar with, stuff we've been familiar with over the past several years, and also stuff we're saying goodbye to because Neptune is going to move out of Pisces next year and not go back in our lifetimes. So Friday night's weird because the moon is opposing Neptune, so it might be confusing, whack, especially because the moon is also trining Uranus. So it sounds fun. It sounds fun and weird. That's Friday night. And then the after party, the moon moves into Libra. So the after party seems fun, like whatever artist loft warehouse party is going on at 4 a.m., maybe with some powerful people because the moon is trining Pluto. That goes exact at 4 a.m. When you wake up on Sunday, the moon in Libra is sextiling Mercury in Sagittarius. That sounds fun. That sounds charming. That sounds like there is, but there's something wrong with it. Maybe. I don't know. But so Saturday opens, the scene is very talkative. And the moon also sextiles Mars in the evening on Saturday. So there's like this energetic, talkative vibe going on Saturday. That feels like Saturday feels, if you're going to have a Sunday brunch, maybe do it Saturday. You could also do it Sunday. There's a lot of like big stuff. The moon is trining Jupiter and trining Saturn. Saturn just stationed, Jupiter just stationed. There's a lot of like big, like the whole, it's what my foot is doing. Like the whole world is like, I'm sorry to put you through that. Yeah, Sunday is just the sun trining Jupiter, and then in the wee hours, the sun trining Saturn, and the moon is headed for a square with Jupiter. So it's all like maybe a bit jarring on Sunday. Saturday seems more like if you're going to have a dinner party that is not dinner but brunch, do it on Saturday. I'm obsessed with entertaining right now, even though I don't know anybody in the city I live in. I think that's it. I'll see you next week. Remember, they're trying to replace God.